In today's interconnected world, is no longer just an advantage to think globally, it's becoming a necessity. So today I'm going to talk about why is this unique combination of the East and the West so crucial to have. Hi, my name is Sadife and I lead the strategy team here at Nomad Capitalist, where we help high net worth individuals who seek global solutions that allow them to go where they're treated best. But what if there are multiple places that you feel like you are treated best? Well, today, that's what I'm going to talk about. Let's dive in and explore what having one foot in the East and one foot in the West brings for you. One of the first benefits that you would have is economic and financial diversification. So, for example, it is such a great advantage to have banking options both in the East and in the West, because different bank accounts in different jurisdictions, depending on where they're located, they work differently. So in certain jurisdictions, you might have banks that offer multiple currencies, so you get currency diversification. There might be certain bank accounts that have higher interest rates in term deposits, which will bring you a higher return of your investment. And on top of that, you have certain bank accounts that have better investment portfolios. This way, you can invest directly through the bank's portfolio in different assets, either it being investment in real estate, maybe some trading, or even with new banks, you might even get access directly to investing in crypto through the bank account. Balancing investments and having bank accounts in different regions will help you if also you would ever consider moving into one of these countries personally, which will give you a better quality of life and just more diversification overall. So if you set up an account somewhere in the East and you end up wanting to move to that area, you can use that account for transactional purposes apart from just investment purposes, meaning that you are well prepared in advance for that eventual move. While the West will offer you that top tier healthcare and education, that doesn't mean that the East doesn't offer that. In the East, usually you have wonderful healthcare and education systems as well. And on top of that, the pace of life is much better. The cost of living, of course, is much lower in most Eastern countries in compared to Western countries. And on top of that, in most Eastern countries, you have a sense of community and you can more easily get that sense that you are fitting in as soon as you move. While many Eastern countries are renowned for their safety, in the West, on the other hand, you get that lifestyle freedom that you are more familiar with. Let's get into everyone's favorite topic, tax. In some countries in the East, like the UAE, for example, you get a preferential tax regime where if you move there or if you move your business there, you get taxed at a lower tax rate, which of course reduces your tax burden. Of course, it's very, very important that you properly structure your tax affairs in the East and in the West and ensure that just because you're not paying tax in the East, that doesn't mean that you're not going to pay it in the West. So properly documenting your departure from a Western high-end tax country will ensure that then when you go to an Eastern lower tax country, you're not paying a high tax bill. So for example, if you are, let's say, a Canadian person and you're thinking about restructuring your personal tax residency as well as your corporate tax residency, you need to ensure that you're properly departing Canada, which we've talked about on our channels. That involves declaring yourself as a tax non-resident in Canada and properly documenting that departure. So when you go to an Eastern country, like for example, the UAE, you are ensuring that you're only paying tax in the UAE. And although, from a personal perspective, it's easier to depart Canada, when we're talking about companies, that makes it a bit more complex. So for example, if you want to move your entire business from Canada into a tax favorable country, that makes it a bit easier. But if your business is location dependent in Canada, that means that even if you personally move or even if you move part of the business out of Canada, that part of the business that is still location dependent in Canada will very likely still pay tax in Canada. While Canadians have this option to more easily detach themselves from Canada, This is not the case, for example, for a country like the US, where if you are a US person for tax purposes, if you're a US citizen or a US green card holder, you cannot just move to the UAE and reduce tax. Unlike Canada, the US does not have this process of just being declared a tax non-resident and still maintaining that immigration piece to the US, so maintaining the passport or the green card. So in order to actually reduce your tax from the US, you would need to completely take like a very aggressive approach. So either renounce your US citizenship or green card and then establish your tax residency in a more favorable tax place. Keep in mind that although you would be renouncing your US citizenship and that will cancel your taxation or worldwide income, you will still pay tax if you have any US sourced income. One of the last advantages that I'm going to cover today is the business and entrepreneurial advantages. For example, in the East, you might have an advantage of more manufacturing options, maybe at a lesser cost. And also you can open offices where you have staff working for you at a lower cost as well. Of course, this is crucial for a business to move forward and to grow. On the other hand, the West might provide market stability for your business. So in more well-established economies, you will have more financing and also more opportunity for growth for your business, which is of course very important. So if you're thinking of planting a flag in the East and in the West, then you need to be careful when you're determining which countries align with your goals, because it's not only about lifestyle, it's about freedom, it's about opportunity, and it is about stability. Here at Nomad Capitalist, we have a process called the plan creation phase, where we will go through your specific situation and ensure that you properly plant one flag in the East and one in the West. If you want to apply to become a client, you can go to our website, nomadcapitalist.com/apply. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on this video. This is Sadife Mehmed, and see you on the next video.